Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Secretary of the United States Department of Transportation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Secretary of the United States Department of Transportation.
Good morning. All right, that's good energy for the breakfast session. Thank you so much for the chance to be here. We are having a great visit to Atlanta and a great week, and I'm so pleased to be able to spend some time this morning with the membership and leadership of AAMA. I want to recognize President and Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, from whom I have learned a great deal, not just about her community, but about the opportunities facing mayors across America. I want to recognize Mayor Stephen Reed and congratulate him on being soon to take the reins. Your treasurer, Mayor Wayne Messam, good to be reunited. Your CEO, Phyllis Dickerson, everybody on the AAMA leadership and staff. And on this 10th anniversary, I want to make sure to recognize the founding members I had the honor of visiting with, and some of your founding members and past members that I have the pleasure of working with in this administration, including Alvin Brown and Steve Benjamin, who are with us here today. And I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge Secretary Anthony Foxx, who can't be here today, but who, as a predecessor and somebody who I learned a great deal from, has really shaped American transportation. And I think it's no accident that his wisdom was informed by his time as mayor of Charlotte. We are having a fantastic week. Monday, we broke ground on the Bright Line West that'll introduce high-speed rail to America with operations in service while Joe Biden is president. We celebrated on Wednesday the release of a rule that means that when you fly on an airline in America and you get canceled, you get your money back. Yesterday, we were with Mayor Dickens celebrating the extraordinary work going on at Concourse D, and today we have so much to talk about here at AAMA. Well, I'm always finding it's the highlight of my week to be among America's mayors. Back when I was a mayor, I believed that our salvation in American politics and policy would come from the local level. Back when I was mayor, I believed the most crucial level in government affecting people's everyday life was the local level. Back when I was in local government, I believed that to be true. And now that I'm in federal government, I know that to be true. So we measure our success in terms of how much we are helping you get your jobs done in America's cities and towns. And I know the job of mayor has only become more difficult and demanding since I wore that title proudly in the last decade. Though it really would have been nice back when I was mayor of South Bend if there was a president with $1 trillion infrastructure bill to help us get stuff built. And I think one of the reasons why President Biden filled his cabinet and White House with mayors and former mayors, including some of America's leading black mayors like Keisha Lance Bottoms and Marcia Fudge and Steve Benjamin and Alvin Brown and others, is that our president understands that a good measure of how we're doing as an administration is whether we are making it easier for you to get things done. Mayors have been providing critical leadership, not just on self-evidently local issues like fixing roads and delivering housing solutions, but on national and even global issues like inclusive economic growth, racial justice, and climate change. Put simply, you deliver because you have to. And the Biden-Harris administration is delivering on ways to help you and your communities thrive, including making sure that we deliver a great deal of that funding and support directly to cities. So, as the African American Mayors Association celebrates your 10-year anniversary and as our administration works with you to deliver on the promise of the infrastructure package, I want to paint a little bit of a picture of what we're seeing across the country. I do miss being mayor, but one of the reasons I love this job is the opportunity to see these different pieces taking shape across America and to see how they fit into a big picture. Earlier this month, I was in Birmingham with Mayor Woodfin, seeing the historic Black Main Street that had thrived for generations until the construction of I-65. And then that decision to convert 4th Avenue to one-way, whisking drivers through the city and into the suburbs, isolated that Main Street and created physical barriers that still divide people, that decreased foot traffic for small Black-owned businesses. But we were there for a joyful celebration of an award to build the city's vision to restore and reconnect Fourth Avenue back to its original design, for better prosperity and safety and a restored sense of place. That was just one project from a round of $3.3 billion that we delivered to over 100 cities of all sizes, to use federal funds to reconnect communities that were divided by past federal dollars. We're partnering with Mayor Woodards of Tacoma, Mayor Jones of St. Louis, Mayor Lumumba of Jackson, Mayor Ramos-Herbert of New Rochelle, and Mayor Dickens right here in Atlanta, and more for your terrific reconnecting communities visions that we've been so proud to support. We've also been able to work with mayors in this room on an issue that hits home for everyone, but disproportionately affects communities of color, and that is roadway safety. So we're working with Mayor Lyles of Charlotte, Mayor Stoney in Richmond, and more, partnering with you on our new Safe Streets for All program. To take Charlotte as just one example, we are helping to implement Vision Zero strategies to make the roads safer through better street design for drivers and safer access for people outside vehicles. Well-lit crosswalks, connected sidewalks, buffered bike lanes, and more. We're finally seeing traffic fatalities just start to come down over the last 7 quarters, but this remains very much a crisis at 40,000 deaths a year. Part of how you might think about it is this: the 1% reduction that we saw last year in roadway deaths means 400 people did not lose their lives. It's enough people to fill 2 or 3 737 airliners. So what are we going to do together about the next 99%? And we know that Black families are disproportionately affected by these deaths. Something that's also true when it comes to the harms of pollution and climate change. So we're doing something about that too. We're advancing environmental justice in a number of areas, but I want to mention just one: pollution in ports. At the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, with the support of Mayors Bass and Richardson, we're helping build a new roadway and bridge over the port's rail line so that trucks can move more efficiently. It's going to reduce trucking delays by almost 2,500 truck hours a day. That helps our supply chains, but it also means cleaner air for so many people who live in that area. And of course, our work on transportation is not just about addressing harms or reducing risks. It's also increasing access to jobs and opportunities. Across the country, we're making the biggest investment in public transit in U.S. history, and the biggest investment in rail since Amtrak was created in the first place. And again, we are teaming up with you to do it. With Mayor Evans in Rochester, we're helping procure hydrogen fuel cell buses that'll improve the reliability and experience of riders. With Mayor Cantrell and partners across 3 states, we're restoring passenger rail service between New Orleans, Mississippi, and Mobile for the first time since Hurricane Katrina. In northern Indiana, Mayor Melton is about to welcome the opening of a second train track, which will increase speed, frequency, and reliability for commuters from northern Indiana to Chicago. I believe we have Michigan City in the house here as well. I'm excited about that one. And we've taken major steps with our discretionary grants and financing authorities to support new housing developments near transit. I know what you're up against when it comes to the affordable housing challenge, and I believe that transportation can help provide some of the solutions. Those are just some of the projects we have underway. We've got 50,000 projects and counting. And what all of them have in common is not one of those 50,000 projects was actually cooked up at the U.S. Department of Transportation headquarters in Washington, D.C. Every single one of them came from a local or state or county or regional project sponsor. It's not just what we do, though. It's how we do it. I want to take a moment to talk about that. It matters how we do this work and who gets to be a part of it. Earlier this month, we announced the final rule to finally modernize our disadvantaged business enterprise and airport concession DBE programs. We're proud of this work. It is going to cut through red tape so businesses can maximize their potential and so the projects can tap into a greater network of talent. And just yesterday, when I was with Mayor Dickens, we were meeting some of the businesses and workers helping to deliver that new concourse that we're contributing to at the airport here in Atlanta. fact, Atlanta is one of the best places in the country to talk about the power of DBEs, because the airport's construction itself under Mayor Maynard Jackson in the 1970s, with the insistence on inclusion in that project, was instrumental to how Atlanta's strong black middle class was built. So we've talked about investments, we've talked about our rulemaking authority. I also want you to know that this administration will be with you when the unexpected hits your community. Been spending a lot of time lately with Mayor Scott, and I want to take a moment to recognize his leadership helping Baltimore through this incredibly difficult moment. We salute Mayor Scott's heart and his focus. He is leading Baltimore forward. And as President Biden has promised, we will be with you every step of the way. One other note on how we're doing things. And I will take care to put this diplomatically. But as a former mayor, I know that sometimes cities do not find that states are on the same page. Was that diplomatic? So I want you to know that we are engaging states to be the best possible partners for their local communities. And also, for very good reasons and by design, many of our programs invite cities to come directly to us for support and for funding. And that will continue. If you do find you're running into roadblocks or red tape with any other level of government, including ours, please reach out to us. In addition to our new structured hands-on partnerships to help communities apply for and deliver projects through our Thriving Communities program, where we're working with North Miami and Mayor DeSolmi, Selma and Mayor Perkins Jr., East Orange and Mayor Green and more, we also have a range of other technical assistance tools for you, because you're doing the most important thing that government does, which is deliver results for people. And I need your help with the second most important thing you can do, which is telling the story, loudly and proudly and in creative ways, to reach people who are not always watching the evening news. It's not just about showing people where their tax dollars are going, it's showing that democracy still delivers. Because after years of not seeing Washington come through for people, after years of seeing transportation projects pass them by completely or be done to them rather than with them, I know why people have become skeptical over recent decades. So it matters that now, in this moment, we show people how government can work for them. When we do that right, we're not just building roads and bridges and trains and airports, we are building trust. And you are critical to that. I want to end by just recognizing one more thing about your job as mayors. You know this, but sometimes the media misses this. You are not just the policymaker for your city. When you serve as a mayor, your city becomes part of you. You rise and fall with the ups and downs of your city. And when your city is hurting, your heart hurts. And because you are a living, walking symbol of what your diverse residents all have in common, responsible for keeping them together, you feel every pressure and every division that pulls at that unity. You don't just read it in news clips, you feel it in your bones, and it takes a toll, and it pulls on you, and it weighs on you. I want you to know that we recognize and salute your leadership. I want to remind you that the other side of that pressure is that your strength becomes a city's strength. That when you are disciplined, a whole community runs more smoothly. That when you are creative and ambitious on behalf of your city, a whole community sees itself in a different light. When you expand your heart and open your mind to take in all of the pride and pain of an entire city, not only do you grow, but that whole city takes on your best personal qualities. Leading a city is an extraordinary duty and a profound calling. So know that I pray for your wisdom and strength because so much depends on it. And because so much depends on you, I want you to know that you can always depend on us. This department, this administration, and your president, we will be here for you every day and every step of the way. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for the chance to address you this morning. And thank you for the work we're all going to do together. It's an honor to be with you. Thanks very much. Thanks, man.